Thank you for joining us today for This Week in Jacksonville Business Edition. Our guest is a repeat offender, if you will, Coley Jones from Bank of America with us again. This was awesome. We got to visit last year surrounding Black Business Month and talk some of those issues. But your role with Bank of America, tell me what that is, and then let's talk about how that fits into what's going on in our area right now.
Sure. Well, first of all, Kent, thank you again for allowing me to come back and spend some time with you. Always exciting and a pleasure.
Thank you.
So my role is I get the pleasure of serving as our business banking market executive here in Northeast Florida and in Greater Georgia.
So when we talked about getting back together, I wanted to hear from you some of the current trends that you're seeing. What's happening in small business in our region right now?
Sure. Well, great question. I think two key areas for us to think about, right, in terms of, hey, what are those opportunities and what are the challenges? You know, I'll start with maybe just some of the challenges that I think a lot of business owners are facing. And time as we engage with our clients here throughout the First Coast, oftentimes we hear the most is talent management, right? How do you maintain—
That's a big challenge for them.
Right, yeah. Well, how do you maintain talent, right, that you want to keep, of course, as well as grow and attract talent? So how do you attract and grow and maintain key people that help drive businesses throughout our First Coast? The biggest opportunity is, and you know this well better than anyone, Northeast Florida is continuously served as one of the fastest growing areas in the country, right? We were just at the Jacks USA trustee meeting as well as their quarterly luncheon. And what you hear from time and time again is the exciting things that are happening in and around the First Coast that are attracting businesses. Those same elements are also what help grow businesses here. So whether you're thinking about our logistical systems in terms of the rails, as well as the highway network, or if you're even looking at something as strategic as our amazing education. So thank you again to our great friends at Duval County Public School. Exciting to see they're an A, but also
A-rated school district for the first time. Yeah,
so exciting.
That does have an impact even beyond just educators or families who are saying, should I move there or not? There is a component for attracting and maintaining talent for businesses to be able to say, oh, and by the way, our school district is A-rated.
Well, it helps not only, provide that area of attraction, right? So as they're speaking it to their employees about where they want to now move their headquarters or expand, knowing that those, we think about our employees a ton. So knowing that those employees will have the benefit of an A-rated school system is great, but also it speaks to the quality of the workforce, right? Those young people will eventually move into the workforce and help grow these amazing businesses we have throughout the First Coast.
What are some of the sectors of business that are really growing, that are coming and saying, hey, Bank of America, help me here in what I'm doing as a business?
Yeah, well, I'm a fan of yours, and just a few weeks ago, you had the team for Jack's Tex Fest here.
Technology
right?
side, right?
So technology is a very, very big sector here for us throughout the First Coast. You also think logistics as well. And so, and services as a whole has continually just led the way for us here in the area.
So I mentioned to you that I've got a friend who just said, hey, Ken, I'm stepping out of my corporate career. I'm starting my own thing, hanging out my own shingle. What's the environment like right now for entrepreneurs or for folks who are saying, I think it's time, I'm going to start that small business?
Well, look, I don't know if anyone's ever said, look, I found the right time to do it, right? It's hard to put your finger on it. But I would tell you, you kind of go back to what I mentioned earlier, all the excitement around the growth and aspects that we're seeing here throughout the First Coast, right? When you are able to put in place a business in Jacksonville that is seeing continuous growth really since the pandemic, right? So that's people coming to the area. All those rely on services. All those services at some point may rely upon goods or create those goods that service this community. So being a business owner here on the First Coast is drastically different from other parts of the country. So certainly an exciting time as we continue this fast-paced growth.
So you just mentioned since pandemic. So beginning of 2020, do we see it still increasing? Is it kind of stabilized, or are we in decline here in those most recent months where we're seeing, across the nation, maybe those unemployment numbers are changing and some of the metrics that you would look at aren't as favorable as they were?
Yeah, well, it's a great question. But when you start to look at in terms of where we're seeing growth, we've seen amazing growth, and right, that was almost hockey stick-like if you think about from pandemic to now, hard to replicate it. But the good news is we're still seeing a steady climb, especially when you compare it to both other parts of the state and across the country. So when you isolate it and look at the growth that we're seeing here in Jacksonville and in the state of Florida in comparison to some of our peers and neighbors and outlying markets, certainly is exciting times.
Tell me about some of the things that Bank of America does, and maybe other banks are doing it as well, but what are you guys focused in on when it comes to offering resources or tools to the small business owner in our area?
Yeah, there's three things that we always talk a lot about, right? That's being local, digital, and advisory, right? So that's important to us. And we think about those areas that we tend to really lean in on, it's gonna fall back to those three things. So when you ask that question, the most important thing to us is ensuring that our presence is there and we're engaged in the community. That's that local piece. Digital will continue to add on resources and invest in our technology to help our clients make better financial decisions to help improve their lives, but also advisory. Having a team of local bankers that specializes in businesses here in the market is extremely important and allows them to do what we're doing. Have a conversation face to face, right, peer to peer, and really understand not just the needs, but the opportunities of the business and how we can support them for growth.
So give me an example of some of that advisory. Hey, Kent Justice Enterprises coming to you and say, hey, I've got this great idea and I've kind of got it off the ground. I need $100,000 to really drive my business higher. Is that the kind of thing that we're engaging in when it comes to advisory practices?
Well, it could be. I think the most important thing, though, is seeking to understand. So tell me more about Kent Enterprises. Tell me about what it is you're looking to go and grow with, and then tell us really kind of the overall story, right? You have a map and a place that you want to take the businesses. Where the advisory piece in the conversation comes in is allow us to help walk alongside you, right? Not in front, not behind, but walk alongside you to help you make a better business decision.
And where does that advice come from? Obviously, probably some experience on your side of the table, right?
Hopefully, yeah, right? That goes back into that local piece. It's going to go back to those local bankers in our communities, in our financial centers, and across all of Jacksonville that can sit down eyeball to eyeball with our clients and prospects to help them support them in their growth.
Is there some cross-pollination with some of the other small business association or like the Jack's Chamber has a small business push? Is there some places where you're partnering with organizations like that?
Yeah, there's some amazing groups in and around the area. So you mentioned just a few, but there's so many, right, that you can name. And one of the things that we hopefully have a lot of pride on is our ability to do that. Most folks don't know this, but we're coming up almost on 150 years as a bank in this community. Wow. So our roots started with Barnett Bank, moved on to get about 1997 as the nation's bank merger comes about, and then shortly thereafter, Bank of America. So 2027 will be 150 years in this market, so we're excited about that.
Yeah, a lot of people will know that Barnett Bank.
Absolutely, name, as a native of Jacksonville, certainly. Yeah. But you grab a lot of friends and a lot of key partners throughout that time frame. So it's our role to make sure that we're great partners to them and also helping support in their mission as well. So together we are what helps make this community great.
Coley Jones, maybe we wrap it up here, but what's the biggest pitfall somebody as a small business could get into if they don't get the right kind of advice, insights? And I suppose there's risk on the other side when you say, oh, I've got a great idea, but I'm too scared to ever launch into it.
Well, it's something you kind of alluded to, right? And I think it goes back to just simply time, right? We know mistakes can be costly, but more often than not, they just cost us time. So when you have a local business banker that can support you, listen to you, understand where those opportunities are, if we do it right, we help save you time, right? We know that component is going to help drive more income to your business and help you get to where you want to go with Kent Enterprises or any other company for that matter much faster.
Yeah. Hey, I appreciate it. I know there are a lot of small businesses out there saying, what do I need to do? What are the tweaks I need to make to get to that next level of whatever the target is that they're aiming at?
Of course.
But, Coley Jones, I appreciate it. Appreciate sharing some of the thoughts, what you're seeing in terms of business trends here in Jacksonville and the broader area. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and thank you for watching This Week in Jacksonville Business Edition. You can listen to it, watch it wherever you get your podcast and wherever you find it. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and follow.